Hello friends, welcome back to Aaron's Anxiety. I am your host Aaron, your personal guide through anxiety, bumpy roads. First off, before we get started, if you haven't already, please like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon if you want to get more of this content. And also, if you want a little bit extra, I don't have a Patreon page, but what we do have is an Aaron's Anxiety family Facebook page. Where you can go and meet like-minded people that are oriented as to how to solve anxiety, not to just sit there and talk about symptoms, problems, blah, blah, blah. So we do that to help one another, but it's a solutions-based page, not just a, hey, I have a problem, and then it just goes off into the ether. So check that out. Aaron's Anxiety Family on Facebook. All right, friends. So today I want to get started something that's been on my brain for the last couple days. I just haven't had time to sit down and make a video. And a lot of times people will talk to me. Raise this camera. A lot of times people will tell me, hey Aaron, I think I'm doing pretty good, and here's why, blah, blah, blah. Or they'll give me the opposite of, hey Aaron, I just don't think I'm making any progress at all. What do you think's going on? And I will tell you, being in the thicket and being in the deep trenches of anxiety, crippled up on my bed, I couldn't go anywhere, to where I am now, where anxiety is kind of in the distant. I mean, it's just not here anymore. It's in the back room. I don't really pay attention to him. He'll peek his head around the corner every now and then, but for the most part, he's, it's like a roommate you never see. You know what I mean? Having spanned all that time, what I can tell you is that we have a very, very poor ability to depict how we're feeling and how far that we've come, because it's all subjective, okay? And you could be feeling good one day and you're like, wow, I'm making great progress, and then the next day you feel bad and you're like, oh, I'm not making any progress. Well, yeah, you're making progress. You know what I mean? You're doing something. Just because you've had a little short, a fallback, doesn't mean you're not making progress. But see, a lot of our depictions of how we think we're doing in the journey is based off of how we feel at that current time, not the whole picture. And so a lot of times people will, message me or comment on the video, I don't think I'm making any headway. This doesn't work for me. I mean, blah, 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 blah. And I try to tell them, look at the whole picture. You know what I mean? One of the best things that you can do, get on your phone and, flip your camera around and record yourself and tell yourself, hey, this is how I'm feeling. This is what I'm afraid of. These are my symptoms. This is what's going on. This is how my brain is thinking at nighttime. These are my times where I'm having the most anxieties in the morning, blah, blah, blah. Okay, give yourself all that information. And then you wait 6 months, and then come back, replay that video again. You'll find that there's a lot of that stuff. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. I don't have that anymore. Well, that's a good thing. And then you'll go a little further. No, I still got that. I still got that. And then it goes, oh, no, I don't have that either. That's how this works. Those things fall off without you knowing them. Because if you're paying attention to them, then there's still a problem where your brain no longer pays attention to them. So it just kind of falls off and you don't think about it anymore. The way I was telling it to Sam was like, there's a thing that gets said that when people pass away or if people move away, if you don't have a picture of that person, that in your brain, their face will fade. Over time, their face will fade, and then you won't be able to remember exactly what they look like. You'll be able to remember like the essence of them. So without pictures, you don't have that, because what you do when you see a picture, your brain goes, oh, that's what they look like. Yeah, that's him. You know what I mean? Isn't that crazy? Well, it's the same thing for your anxiety. You just don't have a picture of your anxiety problems, but your brain will slowly fade them, and then you will forget about them, and then you won't have that problem anymore because you'll forget all about it. I used to tell Sam all the time when I was in the thicket, I used to say, hey, I feel like if I could just have somebody go in and take out the bad memory that I have, that all these problems would go away. it's kind of true. And that's what happens. The brain is doing that specifically, but just a lot slower than just taking that memory out and now it's gone. It's slowly fading. So, so we're really crappy at saying how far. I mean, I remember being 6 to 8 months into it, thinking I was much better. And telling, people, like, yeah, I'm like 90% there, or I'm like 95. I used to give those percentages, and I've heard other people do it before. I'm 95% there. Then now, at a year and a half into just Lexapro, I'm like, there's no way that I was 90% there. Like, looking back now with my third-party perspective of that situation, I can go, no, you weren't even close, dude. You were probably at like 60 to 70% there. You know what I mean? So I was doing better. I just wasn't here. But I couldn't see this at the end of the tunnel. I was like, wow, this is really good. It's a lot better than what it was. And if this is it, then I guess I'll be happy with this. No, it continued to get better. But it's slow. I push patience all the time, and it's the thing that you need the most in this journey. You need patience and you need drive. So on the Aaron's Anxiety Family page, they have the questions that you ask, and those questions are very important. I say, do you now or have you ever had anxiety? Yes, that's why you're there. And then the second question is, are you willing to help someone else out with their anxiety? That is a key thing. We need helpful people as part of that group. And the third question is, are you ready to get rid of anxiety in your life? Are you ready to take your life back? That question is the most important question that I have on that page, because that's going to tell me everything about who's coming in. Some people, and this is going to blow your mind, some people are willing to stay in anxiety. They're willing to look it up. They're willing to fret about it. But they're not willing to do anything about it. And so the people that we need in the group are people that have said, you know what? I've sat with this anxiety for a while. I don't like it. I don't want it anymore. I've had enough. Today is the day. I've had enough. I'm going to do anything and everything that I can to get this anxiety out the door. Those are the people that are in the group. That's the most important question. So that is a great question for this question too, or for this answer too. Are you at that point yet? Have you hit that, I don't care what it's going to take, this anxiety is not going to be for the rest of my life? I can't do this for the rest of my life, and if this is what life is, then I don't want any part of it, so I'm going to drive. I'm going to drive. And that's where we all hit that point. I was sitting in my bed at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday, probably. It was like during the middle of the week. I was taking off from work. I wasn't going to work. My wife's out there, has no idea what's going on. She knows I'm having some mental breakdown or something. And I was thinking, if this is life, I don't want any part of it. So you got two options at that point. Oh, I can either whack myself, which, I don't want to do because that hurts more people around me than anything, or I can get up and I can figure out there's 7 billion people in this world. What's the odds that someone hasn't figured it out? That someone hasn't figured out how to get from where I am to where I want to be? It's inevitable. It's going to happen. So I drove and I pushed and I changed things in my life. I changed the finances. I changed my relationships. I changed how I treated people. I tried to change core things about myself, who I identify myself as. And it worked. And then only then, like a year later, did I, get onto Lexapro. But I drove into the ground that I was going to fix this, and I did it without medication. But the medication came in and made it even easier and better. So that's why I say, you don't have to do it without the medication. Just make sure you drive at those core problems, otherwise you're just covering up the symptoms and not the problems. All right, friends, until next time, work on yourself. Do the best you can with every aspect of your life. Try. Patience, and you will get there. You know what I mean? Like I said, make a video. I go back on my videos. I go back to my first video. Whoa, that was a completely different dude. I can't even do this video as opposed to that video. Go back, watch that video. That guy's sad. He's so sad. He's got bags under his eyes. He's trying to figure shit out. He thinks things are better, but they're not. That guy is in a bad place, and I'm glad not to be there anymore. And I hope very, very much so that you guys can get to that point too. But you're going to need that drive. You're going to need to have that moment. That could be today. Today could be your day. All right, friends. Until next time, I'm Aaron. You're awesome.